Okay, something I can really appreciate is that the box itself is not stapled together. Staples are always a horrible pain in the ass to deal with. So after you get the straps off, the box top simply lifts off, and this is what you get. The console system itself seems to come fairly well protected in its own little foam thing. There's a curious cap. Alright, so here's the console. Yeah, speed up and down, mode, reset, set, start, stop. Here's a safety key, which is over there. A place to put a drink. Hooking it up seems to be, well, there's 3 wires here, so it should be fairly easy. So there's the safety key that goes on the console, and then you clip it to your clothing, so if you slip off the treadmill, you don't rub your face off on the tread. So there's that. Comes with its own little wrapper thingy, which I recommend you keep. Alright, so for in the middle, we have this, and this will be one of the feet with a wheel on it, so you can wheel it around a little bit, make it easier to move. Here's the plug for the treadmill. Here's some fasteners of some sort, and this is, of course, the adjustment hex tool, which you'll have to use it not very often, but every once in a while, to make sure that the track on the treadmill stays on track. And here's some track oil, which you'll have to apply every once in a while in order to keep the track from wearing out. Very slippery, very slippery. Alright, so looks like all that's left to do is lift out the main unit itself and get that positioned so I can start putting it together. Now, considering how it's positioned in the box, it probably would behoove you to actually stand it upright before taking it out of the box. That way you don't have to lift it, you can just slide it out. As you can see, it's wider at the bottom and then tapered toward the top, and a substantial amount of the base is already there on the treadmill, so it should be fairly easy to walk this thing out and then put it together. So let's do that. It comes very well packed, not only the box itself, but a lot of styrofoam to keep the thing from being damaged in transit. Derby! Silly cat. So there it is out of the box. Now, it's not exactly freestanding yet, because you have to put the feet on it, but it was fairly easy getting it out of the box, which is good. This thing is supposed to weigh 180 pounds, so the easier it is to set up, the better. Alright, let me get the wrapping off and put the feet on too. Alright, so for those of you who don't know what a safety key is, again, it's a piece that you have to put on the treadmill in order for the treadmill to work. It closes a circuit there, and if you were to clip this to your clothing and accidentally fell off the treadmill, or just, you know, forgot what you were doing and kind of just slide off, eventually this would be pulled out and that would shut off the treadmill. So that's what the safety key is for, to keep you safe. So an important piece of the treadmill. You definitely don't want to lose, because it won't work without it. Now, it did not come with a lot of parts. In fact, I only see like a couple knobs to put this thing together, actually. So I don't think it requires a whole lot of assembly, which is another cool thing about this treadmill. That makes me wonder what most of this thing is. In terms of this would be a nightmare. So thankfully you don't have to do this. This is just a breakdown of the parts for warranty purposes, I'm guessing. But anyway, so again, here's the parts. There's a triangle knob and 8 stabilizer. Well, there's four stabilizer knobs and a triangle knob, which I haven't seen yet, but I'm assuming is either on the treadmill itself or is in with the parts I've already found. Of course, the Allen wrench. And so we gotta put on the legs first, obviously, and that's what those little stabilizer knobs are for. So that's pretty easy assembly. Just screw in 4 of those, and you have this thing standing upright. So let's do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so fairly easy to get the legs on. And it's set in the directions. I have to just fasten 2 of these to each leg. And that's there. On there. Here's the release thing, so you can release this so it goes down. The hydraulics that they have on it make it a smooth transition up and down. And of course you have this bar here that pops out, so that's what is actually in touch with the floor. Of course it folds away for storage. So pretty easy. You pull this out after disengaging the lock right here, and pull this down till it touches the floor, and we're ready to go. Still have some assembly first. I need to find that triangle tightener and of course put the console on, which goes up here. Alright, so once you have the treadmill bed folded out, you'll want to fold out the bars and the computer console mount too, which is right here. There is a catch for this too, right here. So you want to make sure to pull that out. Fold this up. Now this will somewhat lock it in place, but as you can see there's still a little bit of wiggle, which is why you want to tighten this bar right here. The entire treadmill folds down quite nicely, but of course you might want to try and find a location that will more or less serve as its permanent location. So there's 2 of these. There's one on this end, another on this end, and once you have that locked in place, there's still a little bit of wiggle, but not as much, at least. Okay, so here we are at the middle of the bar. This is where the computer hooks in. You have 3 components to hook in. I'm guessing that each one of the black ones goes out to the bar controls, and this one goes to it as the power, and probably also a control measure too. Now there's more than one version of this treadmill. I have the 1020 as opposed to just the regular 1000. So I have these as the computer mount screws, and those simply go through here, sort of like that. So there's one, and there's the other one. So depending on your version of the treadmill, the computer mounts might look like these screws, or they might look like these screws. If for some reason you're missing this part, make sure to let them know which version you have, because this screw will not work with this treadmill, as I found out when I had to order replacement parts. Originally these did not come with the treadmill, so I had to go through about 2 weeks of nonsense to get these, because there's a little bit of confusion between model numbers. So make sure they know which kind of computer screw you need, if indeed you need to get a replacement part. These are the right ones for mine. So here's the control console again. Fairly basic, but you don't need it to be overly complicated for a treadmill. The nice thing about this is it is literally impossible to get it wrong. As you can see, the white one goes to the white one. This one is a female, and this one is a male. This one is a female, and this one is a male. So you literally cannot get it wrong unless you're actively engaging in, I don't know, trying to fit a square peg through a circle hole, as it were. So it's fairly easy to hook up. So we're going to go do that. When connecting the wires, you kind of have to stuff them into the computer console a little bit, which is a little bit tricky, but you shouldn't be taking this thing off on a regular basis anyway. So do it as best you can without trying to twist the wires too much, and then it'll just stay on there with these two triangle screws. So this is what it looks like folded up. As you can see, it has a very thin profile, which makes it very easy to store away. Of course, you'll probably want to keep this in some location where you can just drop the bed, as opposed to having to move it around on a regular basis. It does have wheels on the ends right here, but they're more there as a matter of convenience than as a real way of moving the thing around. I mean, if you have to move it every once in a rare while, it helps, but mostly you'll want to set this thing up in some place where you can, within reason, expect to not have to move it very often. So I'm putting it here right next to my closet door, so I don't go in the closet that often, but when I do, I can just fold up the bed. And this is it, fully folded out. Now, it only looks big in this room because this room isn't very big, and obviously it gets in the way of the closet, but when it's folded up I can access the closet, so it's not that big of a deal. Like I mentioned, I don't get into the closet that often, so it's the best arrangement for now. And later on I'll probably move it someplace else, but it's the best arrangement for now anyway. The plug-in for the unit is right out the front, and I can verify that it is safe to fold this up and down with it plugged in still, so that's not a worry. Of course, the cord is not very long. I know I have a wall outlet right there, but due to how the fuses in our house work, it's probably not safe to plug it into that and have a computer running at the same time. So make arrangements to possibly have an extension cord if you're in under the same situation. But that's where it plugs in, on the right hand side or left hand side. This side, however you're facing, of the treadmill. And here's the switch. There, we have life. And this is the fuse right here. So on the bars, you have the pulse plates. So what you do is, during your treadmill run, you hold on to this and the other one on the other bar, and it takes your pulse and displays it on the main console display. It also has operational buttons. On the right hand side, these buttons correspond to speed up and speed down. On this side, it corresponds to the various modes and on off, so you can turn things off. So it turns it on. Then you just push again to turn it off. And switch modes. In case you want to set or reset something. So again, very easy to operate. You can operate with your hands on the bars, directly with your thumbs, or you can operate from the main console, whichever you prefer. So excellent treadmill design. Okay, so here we are at the main console. Here's where you put your drink. This is where the safety key goes. Start and stop, reset, set, up, down, mode. You have your speed, pulse, distance, and calories burned, and safe. Safe is, of course, because I don't have the safety key plugged in. As soon as I do, see, it allows you just to access the functions. Now, I'm sure it has a lot of really cool things to it, you know, modes and junk. The only thing I really care about is just being able to walk at a certain rate for a certain amount of time. And even has quick start. You know, press the start stop button first. The treadmill will start at low speed. To increase speed, press the up button. Press start stop button to stop the treadmill. So it even has the instructions printed directly on it. So not only is this easy to assemble and occupies very little space, but it's very easy to operate. So you will want to clip this onto yourself, because if you fall off the treadmill, you don't want the treadmill rubbing your face off with the tread track. So see, that goes to safe mode. Put that back on. You're ready to go again. So I'm going to clip this to my shirt. Now, I'm probably not going to be using the treadmill today because I still feel like crap from yesterday, because I moved the shed with my stepfather's help, but it was still pretty humid out there. But I do have plans on using this on a regular basis, every day. What I recommend for those who've never used a treadmill before, don't do it barefoot. You will want to have some kind of decent shoes, not slippers, not flip-flops, but some kind of decent shoes that you can dedicate to using the treadmill, just the treadmill if at all possible. Because you may be walking on a treadmill, but you're still walking, so proper foot care is a must. So anyway, let's get this thing going. Time's down. There we go. And we are at a very slow speed of 0.4 miles per hour. So not exactly trying. Let me up the speed a little bit. I think it can handle a mile per hour. I remember when I used to have the much larger treadmill, I would be going at a proper clip of almost 5 miles an hour. And after a while, I would even have it up to, like, I don't know, 45-degree angle, something ridiculous. It was essentially mountain climbing for an hour at 5 miles an hour at that point. I'm going to stop it so I can reposition the camera, because I want you to be able to see the display. So let's do that. If this video manages to demonstrate anything, is that a good tripod will make things so much easier, because I couldn't imagine trying to make this shot while holding the camera and treadmill at the same time. But anyway, let's get started again. So you can see I've burned 2 calories. Woo! Spent a minute 18 on the treadmill, going at 1 mile per hour for most of it, at a distance of 0.01 of a mile, and I'm going to demonstrate the pulse feature. So let's get going again. Alright. Okay, my hands are on the pulse thing. Oh shit. No. I accidentally touched the speed control on the bars. But there's my pulse. Now, given this is probably the most exercise I've gotten in years, so I know some of you out there are like, shit, you're out of shape. Oh yeah, I am. That's the whole point of getting this treadmill in the first place, because I need to get back in shape. Figure give it like 5 minutes. Alright, so that's the Exerpeutic Therapeutic Fitness Treadmill. I look forward to using this on a daily basis to get back into shape, so I'm not having as many health problems as I'm having. I definitely recommend this treadmill. It's easy to assemble, easy to have in your home without taking up a lot of space, and easy to operate. So I totally recommend this treadmill. Buy one today.
Let it go.